Hello, my name is David Webb and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first, and I have got no vowels, but I do have the Y, so I should be able to play through this. And hopefully my opponent will play a vowel, which I'll be able to use. If he doesn't, I've certainly got the word chind, C-H-Y-N-D, and Y as possibilities. And I have the A of lamb available. Now I note that lamb takes a Y after it, so I may not need to use the A of lamb. Let's see how much this scores. 36 points. Well, that is a great score given the a rack of 7 consonants. If I do play through the A of lamb, I am not going to score as well. And I don't think there's a better play using the Y hook for lamb. I now have 2 vowels, which is an improvement. I don't have a bingo, so I'm looking to score and play off one or both of my high scoring tiles and leave a reasonable rack leave. I do actually have warlike through the A of lamb, but that would be a face value play, so I would hope to do better. If I played above lamb and parallel, it would be nice to put the K immediately above the A. So I could play lek, L-E-K, which would achieve that end, but it would leave the W and the duplicate R. But my opponent's play of Xi actually prevents me from putting the K on that spot, but enables me to put the W on it, and I can resolve my R duplicate. So this isn't the greatest of leaves, L-I-R-K, but 29 is a reasonable score. And I don't think I can do better. Now this looks more promising. I don't think I have a bingo, but the rack is a lot more balanced in terms of vowels and consonants, and I've got only one high scoring tile. The K does go with the C, so I am looking at that to see if there's a bingo through the C of chind, but I don't think there is. Now my opponent's played trog, and I could put the K above OR to make core, but I don't think I can find a word of 2 or more letters which actually runs along row E ending in K on that spot. I've got the anti-prefix through the T of trog, but anti-lark isn't good, and I can't think of any anagrams of those letters. There aren't actually many scoring opportunities on this board, because without an H, the whole area around the C of chind is not available. And by that I mean I can't play down column 11 without an H, and I can't play down column 9 at all. Well, it's a shame I can't reach this double word square above or with my K, but I can't. I think I may have to play down column 3 or 4. So my priority is to play the K for score, to play the A to split up the duplicate, and to play one of the L and the N because they don't go well together. Well, I've got KNAR, K-N-A-R-R, for 18, but that leaves... Well, let's see what that leaves. A-I-L, which is an excess of vowels, which isn't ideal. It would be nicer to play through the T of trog and not have an excess of vowels. Well, that's 18. And that's only 16, so I'm foregoing 2 points. And I'm also placing a vowel next to a double word square at D4, which my opponent could score well off. I think I'll take the risk of having the excess of vowels and see if I can get away with it. Well, nearly. I've got 4 vowels. Through a D I would have Dedalian, and look at that, through the D of chined I can play Dedalian, making mid as well. Ooh, NAR wasn't good. Oh, how annoying. Gosh, I really didn't have many doubts about that. And now I'm not able to play my Dedalian play, although I note that waxed would have blocked it anyway. Oh well, that was pretty poor. Well, what about Carl across here? I didn't consider this last time, and I probably should have done. That's 26 points, which is a lot more than the phony I played, and the Rackleaf doesn't have the vowel excess problem. I can't see any better plays in or around waxed. And this doesn't look too bad. Duplicate F is actually a good thing to have. You can usually score well off it, even if you can't bingo. Having said that, this does look quite close to a bingo. I've got the 3 best vowels in A, E and I. And the R goes quite well with double F as well. So I would have Fire Fang onto a G. But I can't see anything that plays on this board. I've got Fink onto the K of Carl. I'm wondering if I've got anything in column 8 down from the square to the right of the D of waxed. It would be nice to put the F on the double letter square at L8. That's not now possible. I don't have any vowels which go in front of the P of BAP, or which go in front of BE, so although add looks promising for one of my Fs, I can't play parallel to BAP. It would be nice to play off both Fs because the F is not a is not conducive to bingos. But I'm not sure that's possible. I can't see a way of playing in row K through the AD. Well, I could play A double F beside the D of Chind for 21 points. And that would leave EINR, which is quite a nice leave. Well, I could play IFF in the same spot. That is a little better. IFF doesn't take, I think it's pronounced if and only if, but that takes nothing after it, whereas AF took a Y after it, or takes a Y after it. Well, this does open up scoring opportunities for my opponent, but there's only 20 odd points between us, so I think an open board is not a bad thing to have. That's not a good pickup. 3 A's is problematic, and I don't have any high scoring tiles. I think the board is sufficiently open that I should be able to play through this rack without needing to change, but I think it's going to be a struggle to get to 20 points. I don't have any tiles which go after AD, so I'm not going to be able to play down column 8 onto the triple word square at 08. I am able to play parallel to if and only if, but that's such a juicy spot. I think my opponent is going to be drawn to it. But maybe he will in turn open an additional hot spot. I've got the word area, which would certainly sort the rack out. Well, maybe my opponent doesn't have any vowels. He's just played off 2 consonants for 17 points. So I could play double A down here, and that's 19 points, and that's a pretty good leave. Can I do anything better than that? I certainly want to play off 2 of the A's. Area doesn't play in that spot. Well, now do I want to play ante? Let's see what it scores. £31 points. That is a good score. That's a lot better than I was getting for double A, and the rack leave of AR, although not as good as a rack leave of ANTER, is certainly worth having in return for the additional points. This doesn't look too bad. I don't have a bingo, either as a 7 or an 8, but I should be able to score. I've got the W as a scoring tile, and W goes well with vowels. So I could play a word like O, O-W-E, and that would leave A-E-R-T, which would be a pretty good leave. I do of course have to find somewhere to play it. And I have the O, which goes next to add. It would be nice to have a word a 5-letter word beginning OW in column 8, but there isn't one. I could play woe in column 5 parallel to BAP, placing the W on the double word square at K5, and that would be 30 points. So let's see if that spot stays open. The board is beginning to tighten up. There is column 13 available, but in terms of bingos, that's about it. Of course, if I play woe at K5, I will be opening up an additional bingo lane in row N. With the board this tight, there's a risk that whoever gets the first bingo can then keep the board tight and inhibit his opponent from catching him. And I am not in a position to achieve that with this rack. Okay, well that spot that I had in mind for woe has gone. But I can play swore. The rack leave of AET is not bad, and 36 points is very good, and if I don't take this spot, my opponent probably will, and I can't see a higher scoring spot on the board. And I still don't have a bingo. I have 5 vowels. But I have the H, which goes next to the C of chined. But I'm probably going to have to use my H to sort out my vowel preponderance, and I won't be able to use that in conjunction with the C of chined. So I'm looking at a play such as O higher or high oi. So, where can I play those? Well, they both do play in column 13 next to FE, but then they open up the triple word square at O15, so that's not great. I could play hoik down here. Not a great leave. 22 points isn't great. So that's 22 points and a leave of AEIT. If I played ha here, I get 30 points. I get 8 more points, but look at that rack leave. 4-1 vowels to consonants. A rough rule of thumb is 5 points for a duplicate tile, so although this scores 8 points more than hoik, you can discount 5 of those for the duplicate I. Then it's not looking so good, and you need to further discount it for the greater preponderance of vowels. So ha is not better than hoik, although it's not hugely worse. Let me see, so the two possibilities, high oi doesn't play in column 13. I'm considering plays parallel to anti. And O higher also doesn't play at any spot which gives a decent score. Hoik's not bad. My opponent may be drawn to the triple word square at A1, and if he isn't, that's a hotspot which is available for me to keep scoring. There's only 4 points in it. So we are both quite close. I would get 22 points for playing Hi-Oi and FEH. I think you should look after your own rack as a priority over avoiding providing openings for your opponent. And AET is significantly better than AEIT, so I am going to take this. We'll take the risk of my opponent having a big score at 0-15. Great, I draw the blank, or the first blank. I have Adulate, which plays in column 13. What else do I have? Well, I can't see anything else. 69 points. Punished to the max. Never mind, I do have a bingo to immediately come back. And I can now play in column 15. So that's 74 points. I don't think I'm going to score more than that anywhere else. And I've got Reiving, R-E-I-V-I-N-G, which does play in column 13. So that's a stroke of good fortune. When you are drawing 7 tiles from the bag, there's only a 1 in 7 or 1 in 8 chance of picking a bingo out. So it's nice when it happens. Is there any anagram of reiving? I'm wondering if this is a word which you can spell both EI and IE, and I think it is. But the IE spelling would take a G and possibly a P in front of it. So I'm going to go with the EI spelling if that spot remains available. In rows N and O, well, I was going to comment on the 2-letter pairs ER and TE, which probably feature in quite a lot of 9-letter bingos. I haven't studied the 9s, and nothing jumps out. So I'm going to play Reiving. My opponent's score of 13 was good for me, 77 points. And I now have a lead of 90 points. And I draw quite a nice rack. I don't think I have a bingo this time, but I should be able to score well with the Y and the M. Perhaps a play of Yum or Yom. Would work. I notice that the Y can be played on the triple letter square at J14. So for example, I could play Yi, U and L for 28 points, but I suspect that there is a better play. I could play OYE in column 9, making woe, joy and ear. And that would be over 30 points. That would be pretty good. There are 17 tiles in the bag. I've got just over 5 minutes, so I don't have very much time left. But fortunately I do have a good lead, and my opponent again scores only a small number of points, which is good for me. Now, do I have anything which goes in front of iron? Well, I have the L. Can I put the M or the Y on the triple word square? Try triple letter square at J2. And make lion as well. I could play muley. That's quite tempting. Muley's good because it plays off both of the high scoring tiles, and it plays 5 tiles, and if you look at the bag you'll see a lot of vowels in there, so a play of U or yo. Well, hang on, 24 points is not good. I think I'm going to go back and play next to the J. And actually, playing next to the J is good because I retain the L, and therefore I retain the lion hook. So, what was it I had in mind? O-Y-E. I am running the risk of picking up another U to go with the one that I'm keeping, but 35 points is good. Oh well, I do pick up another U, but that's not a terrible rack. I am 89 points ahead. The letters in the bag are quite bingo-y, although there is a lot of vowels in there. But a bingo wouldn't be fatal. I've got Pulu and Lion. That's only 16 points. I have the up prefix. I could play lump at A12. Oh, did I miss yump last go? I don't think I did. I don't think I had all the letters in yump. But I do now have lump at A12 coming down, and that's good because it takes out 3 very bingo-y floaters. It doesn't really offer much to my opponent. I've got just under 3.5 minutes left, and there are 11 tiles in the bag and 7 on my opponent's rack. I do have lumpier through the eye of reaving, which wouldn't score as well as lump, but it would play off more tiles. I've got replumb. Oh great, lump is not blocked. I don't think replumb would be better than lump. Lump is 32 points. Replumb would be playable at J2 for only 28 points. And that's reduced, rescued, seducer, secured. But is there anywhere to play any of them? I don't think there is, but I'm 111 points ahead. There are a lot of vowels on the rack, a lot of vowels unseen. Therefore my opponent is unlikely to have a bingo, and there are few opportunities to play a bingo on this board. Iron only takes an L and a P and a C in front of it, and none of those tiles are in the bag, so my opponent would have to use the blank as one of them. Okay, he's played oik. I can't play any of my bingos. I don't have a bingo onto the L of lump. It wouldn't surprise me if I did have a bingo, a 9-letter bingo through some of the 2-letter combinations on the board. I certainly don't have time to find them. There are 3 tiles in the bag. I probably ought to be playing off 2 of them. And ideally the E and the U. This probably isn't best at all, but I am short of time. That's 6 points. It does leave 1 in the bag. Ah, no, stop. I have reduces and scion. Gosh, I would have been so annoyed to have missed this. I think it's because I was thinking iron only took the L and the P, but of course it takes the C as well. Reduces 80 points, phew. And, well, the game is won, but that's pretty good. I've got over and riser, and over and AR, so I am going out. My opponent may have a bingo. I'm not sure he's got anywhere to play it through the... Oh, he's got 2 pays, but that doesn't play. He'd need to take advantage of oik, front hook of oik. He'd need the blank to be an H. He doesn't have a bingo with the blank as an H. He may have one onto the L of lump, but the L is not a great tile for ending words, especially when you don't have an A for an AL ending. So if my opponent doesn't go out, is over and riser the best I can do? Well, that scores 20 points, so that's my target. Well, over and AR also scores 20 points. I can't use the S of reduces. I note that ERE takes a V after it to make EREV, but I can't play AVO or over utilising that. I do have ovate at 04, but that doesn't score very much at all. AVO and OO, using the O of oik, scores 16 points. AVO and OO at A1, well, that's 20 points again. So I'm struggling to score above 20. But I might as well spend the time looking for such a spot. But with the V, there's very little available on this board. Okay. So my opponent has not opened up any additional spots for me to go out. Over scores 20 points, and I think that's the best available. And that's the end of the game. I win 524 to 335, so nearly 200 points. Let's see what I missed. So this was my opening rack. Yep, chimed. Liker at J4. I didn't consider that. I see. That's it. Leica, Axe and Mir. That would have been nice. Kirana, nice word. D4. Right, and that would be hooking an A on the front of Ru to make Aru, which is a word I know, but one that I didn't consider in the game. And actually this is where I played my phony, so we'll move swiftly on. Kirana was still available, and, well, not massively better than Carl. EFF at D3. Oh, that would have been really nice. I did actually see far and floor, but I didn't think of putting an E in front of it. So I did consider AF and if and only if. I didn't consider F, probably because of a predisposition to retaining the E if I can, because it's such a good bingo-y tile. But certainly 40 points would have justified playing it. Ante. Awito at J13. That would have been nice, making die to 4 and J13. Yeah, die to 4 and Fee, so that would have been nice, but Sweat scored about the same. Well, and Swore. This was where I hit my vowel problems, and Hioi was the move I made. Well, a whole host of bonus or bingo plays here, and Adulates was one of the highest scoring. There were both spellings of Reaving and nothing else available. And Moy, H14. Making Agma, yeah, 37 points. That would have been a very nice play. Lumper at J2. Oh, I see, making Pion 30 points, and, well, Lump for 32 I think was fine. Reduces and Seducer, not sure there's very much between those options. And 20 points was the most that was available on the final rack. So I think that was an interesting game. There were quite a few spots in it. There were not many moves which were obviously best, so there was plenty to consider. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.